Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another outstanding episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, especially on Tuesday, which is today, he always asks for a chief burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight who actually was recommended by our good friends over there at 1CW. That's right. Shout out to, Sean Carlson. He actually mentioned his name when we actually asked who should we look at to be on our show in the very near future. This man has actually won the Balls Mahoney Battle Royal, and he's also a graduate of the Workhorse Training Center. Everybody, welcome to the show, the Brother Trucker, Josh Windsor. How you doing tonight, sir?
That's a nice touch. I'm doing great. I'm excited to be on here. This is one of my first, interviews on a podcast, so I'm really excited.
Awesome. Wow, we feel honored actually. You've been on our radar for a bit. It was just a matter of timing, just a matter of when. And then Rob was like, "Yeah, I got some people that would like to be on." And then I forgot we didn't book anybody for Tuesday. So I'm like, "Okay, Rob, pick whoever you want to pick. I'm down for whatever." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll ask Josh." And I'm like, "Okay, awesome, do it, man." Now I remember, yeah, he's definitely one of the people that Sean Carlson mentioned. So, thank you for actually taking time out to be here and whatnot. Yeah. So, how's everything in your neck of the woods?
Doing good. Last Saturday we were in Selbyville for 1CW, the debut in Selbyville in Sussex County, and I thought we did a great job. I originally didn't even have an opponent for the show, so I got there and I didn't know what I was doing. And all of a sudden, O'Shea Edwards, big ROH guy, he goes out to the ring. He didn't have an opponent, and I was like, this could be a great chance. Let's go out there and do something. And I didn't get the victory last Saturday, but I'm getting a rematch this Sunday in Milford. So for anyone watching that's coming to 1CW on Sunday in Milford, Trucker Josh will be back in action.
That's awesome, man. O'Shea Edwards. Oh man, I do not envy you facing that guy. I've seen that guy's matches before. Very hard hitting. I would not want no smoke with that guy unless he's having the barbecue and selling plates. Yeah, I'll definitely take that kind of smoke. But that other smoke in the ring.
That wrestler is the exact type of opponent that I want to face in professional wrestling. Those matches are the matches that got me into this to begin with. So yeah, I got my butt kicked a little bit, but that fight, there's nothing like that fight. Being in a ring with someone like that. So I'm more than excited to get another crack at it on Sunday.
Wow, that's cool, man. Well, I'm actually jealous of Rob. I know Rob actually gets to see all that, all those great matches down there. Hopefully I can make my way down to Delaware one day and actually check out, 1CW, because I've been hearing a lot of great things about y'all. And I'm not just saying that because, you're on our show. Like, really and truly, I've heard a lot of great things about y'all. And also, I'm very happy for y'all with the expansion that you're doing. You're not just doing shows in Houston, Delaware, but you're branching out to not only to other cities in Delaware, but also to Virginia and hopefully Maryland. And hopefully you guys keep on with the momentum. Maybe you make it over to Philadelphia and also to West Virginia and so on, and just keep on being successful.
Yeah, we have a a lot of plans for the near future. I mean, I'm not in on everything, but I know, they're planning on having some shows in Salisbury and Fruitland, Maryland, coming up soon in the summertime in the fall. So yeah, the expansion right now of 1CW is a main focus.
Awesome. That's cool, man. So, I got to ask you, man, I always ask, our guests this one question. And, I'm sure it's the question that, a lot of people, whenever you get signed by, one of those big companies, be it WB or AEW or Impact, or whether you go on tour, I'm sure they're going to look back on this interview and they're going to want to know, how did it start for you? What was the match or the main event or the pay-per-view that made you become a fan of pro wrestling?
The very, very first match I ever watched in professional wrestling, I think I was 6 years old. It was Friday Night SmackDown. It was Fit Finlay versus Chris Benoit. And I was hooked from the start. I remember asking my dad, what the heck is this? And he said, it's pro wrestling. And the action, the back and forth, the crowd, the entrance music, there was not a thing about pro wrestling that I wasn't into. And from that day on, I was hooked. And I was a huge, huge Rey Mysterio fan, believe it or not. That was my guy. I used to dress up like him for Halloween. And Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero, I Quit match was the match where I was like, I want to do this, because I wanted to go beat up Chavo Guerrero because he beat up my hero. But yeah, I've been a wrestling fan since I was 6 years old. And, it took me, long enough. I was 22 when I finally decided to get into it. But, I have no regrets. I love pro wrestling and everything about it.
You're on mute, man.
I got to stop doing that. I gotta say, that's cool that you actually started out with watching Chris Benoit and Fit Finlay, Benoit being not being the most savory person you want to talk about, but given what happened many years ago, which I will not go into, but we all know what happened. But on the wrestling side of things, it was great that you actually got to see, you got to start off with that match. And then you got to go on to see that I Quit match with Rey Mysterio and Chavo, which I'll never forget. And that's the first time I ever saw the face or the good guy legitimately quit. As opposed to how The Rock and Mankind did it, where they tape recorded a tape recording of Mankind saying I quit when he didn't really say it. So. That in my opinion, that's a classic match as well. So growing up, did you ever get to go to any of the shows? Did you ever get to see Rey Mysterio wrestle live for WB or any other promotion?
I went to a house show in Salisbury in 2007. I went to SmackDown in 2007 in Philadelphia. And I don't think I went to Monday Night Raw, but I went to AEW recently, about a year ago. But as a kid, I went to SmackDown. I think it was June of 2007, and I got a picture with Tommy Dreamer, and I still have that somewhere in my house. But I was really proud of that picture. And we tried to get autographs from MVP and Mark Henry, but they weren't busy talking to the fans. I remember that.
Okay, man. Looking back at those days, man, that was also. I mean, granted, a lot of wrestling wasn't really that restricted. When I mean restricted, I mean like it was a great time, but it wasn't as great as it is now, where you have it available to you 24/7, 365. You have a bunch of you have. I don't mean to say this, but you have a bunch of indie promotions that have those weekly episodes so that you can see, who's hot in what area instead of waiting until they get signed. And you're like, okay, who are they? What's their background? But back then, looking back, it was a pretty interesting time to be a fan as well, to the ruthless aggression era, which, in my opinion, and I'm going to be a bit controversial, I like that era more than the Attitude Era for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was the
Ruthless aggression.
athleticism.
That's the era I grew up on, so I'm biased. So I would have to agree with you.
It holds up better too. It holds up better than the Attitude Era too. So
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was like I always say the ruthless aggression was like the just right. The ruthless aggression era was the just right era because you had a bit of everything. You had the comedy, you had the vulgarity, and you also had the athleticism in the matches and so on. So it was, I would say that era was just right back then. Yeah, but that was definitely a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. So now that you're going to the shows, you're cheering your favorites, you're booing the bad guys, you're supporting and whatnot. How did you? And something, I'm gonna stop caring what people. Rob, you think it's time I stop caring what people think when I say this phrase? I think I'm gonna make it a phrase. Oh, did he get frozen?
You might
Rob? Hold on.
Rob, still alive?
He's back.
Rob's alive.
Yeah, it happens.
yeah, my bad. It froze on me, man.
Just making sure you're not dead, Rob.
No, I'm good. I'm here. I'm alive.
Yeah. Rob, you think it's time we stop caring what people think about this phrase? I think it's time we stop caring about what people think about this phrase. So I gotta ask you, Josh, how did you jump the guardrail and get into the wrestling industry? That's the new thing. That's Ringside Society's new phrase now. Jumping the guardrail, not jumping the guardrail and getting involved in the matches when you're not supposed to and getting humiliated and beaten up. I'm talking about jumping the guardrail as in you got into the pro wrestling business. How did that go for you?
So probably when I was 18 or 19 or 20, somewhere around there is when the idea, was floating in my head. I really wanted to do it. A couple of friends from school, we had joked about just dropping everything we were doing and going and training to becoming wrestlers. And because when I was 22, is last year, I hadn't been watching wrestling for a while, and I decided to start watching it again. And I was watching on TV. I was like, man, I know I can do that. I know I can get in there and compete at the same level that these guys are. And I went on Facebook and I was like, there's got to be somebody training guys how to wrestle somewhere. And Workhorse Training Center was the first one I found. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna call these people. And the guy on the phone, it was Sean Carlson. He seemed like a pretty genuine guy. And he said, all right, yeah, you can show up on Monday. And Workhorse Training Center in Felton, Delaware. Sean Carlson, Mark Harrow. I got into that school, and the rest is history. I definitely fell in love with with actually wrestling. I was always a wrestling fan, but as soon as I got into it, the training and working and competing, I fell in love real quick and became obsessed.
That's awesome. It's. I must give you, kudos on actually sticking with it, because there are a lot of people that get into these training schools, and I've heard so many stories of people of training schools having like classes of like over 20 people, 30 people, and by the end of it, it's either 1/3 or less than 1/3 or barely half that actually graduate. So congrats on actually being one of the few that stuck with it and finally getting that handshake, that okay from Mark Harrow and Mark Harrow and Sean Carlson on joining the wrestling industry as well. So now that you're now that you're a professional wrestler, how did I've seen you've actually gotten to battle actually one of our other alumni guests, Sam Thompson. You also got to battle in that same match. It was a triple threat match. 1/3 of Pure Ignorance, Chaz the Don, as I know him, or Chaz Evans. You know,
Mhm.
what was it like, being in that match? Were you nervous, or were you like, something? I got this. I'm good. Or was it a mixture of both?
So that was the triple threat match with Chaz and Sam. I was pretty confident going into that match because I had recently been in a fatal four-way match the month before with Chaz, Tim Taylor, and Hobo Harry. And I was, competing in that match. I wasn't falling behind. It wasn't like, man, these guys are way better than me. They're way out of my league. I can't hang. And I almost won that match. My finisher, shifting gears, I hit it. And, Chaz did some sneaky stuff and got me out of the ring, and he got the win. So I was like, my finisher is the move that sealed the deal for this match. So I wasn't nervous per se going into the triple threat with Sam and Chaz. Um, Unfortunately, it ended just about the same way that the Fatal Four Way did. I hit the finish and boom, got screwed out of the ring, and unfortunately didn't get the win. But every match I have, I learn from. I go in, I get experience, I get to compete with very talented guys. Sam and Chaz are both very, very talented guys that it was an honor to get in the ring with. But like I said, every time I get in the ring and have a match with someone, it's always something to learn. Win or lose, there's always something I take back from it, and I feel like I know it's cliche, but I feel like I get 1% better every time I get in the ring with someone else. So.
That's awesome. That's cool. So, like I said, from what I've seen in that match, you can only go up. You can only progress even more or whatnot. And like I said, you're making your name in Delaware, and I know eventually, you're gonna branch out nationwide. You're gonna hit up Philly. You're gonna. I definitely know I'm gonna see you in New York real soon. I'm actually here in New York. Like I said, I got a gut feeling. Trucker Josh is gonna be doing a road tour real soon. All over the East Coast, hopefully, nationwide and everything.
That's the
So,
plan.
so I gotta ask you, man, who are your top 5 that you'd want to wrestle in the near future?
Top 5. Okay. So I'll start by 1. I'm actually going to scratch off this Saturday. Ty Awesome. I'm wrestling
Woo!
Ty Awesome this Saturday at WDWA in West Virginia. So there's 1. Cool. I gotta put Brian Morris on there, Workhorse champion, because
Ooh, the Wonder
he
Boy.
the Wonder Boy. Yep, he likes to participate in shenanigans against my good buddy and friend Sean Carlson. But Brian Morris, he's got that Workhorse title, which I've got my eyes set on. But we've got other things to deal with first. But I've that's in my back pocket. We got 3 other people.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go big scale, long term. I would love to wrestle MJF at some
Okay.
point in my career. I just think his style in the ring is something that intrigues me. I'm a fan of the traditional style of wrestling, which I think he tries to embody in an era of modern wrestlers. Gunter, I'll put Gunter on there because I'm a sucker for hard hitting matches. I see Rob rubbing his chest. I'm a sucker for big strikes, big chops, big slams, back and forth, just aggression, ruthless aggression, bringing that back. And 5, I know I just wrestled him, and I'm wrestling him again this Sunday, but O'Shea Edwards, because that match was so far the peak of my wrestling matches in my career. Like that that match showed me there's a whole nother level to this whole sport of wrestling, and I'm not ready to give up on that feud with O'Shea Edwards. There's no way that's going to be a one-off thing. I have to wrestle him again because that type of match is one of the reasons that I love professional wrestling. So there's my 5.
Awesome. But I definitely hope you get to, knock all those off. MJF, that one is definitely possible as well because, AEW, they tend to bring up, anybody these days to, be on their platform, which I think is a great thing because, now you don't have to wait to get that one appearance on WWE. No slight to WWE, but, WWE is not the only place where you can actually get, exposure now. You also have AEW as well. So definitely hope you get to, definitely hope you get to cross off all those names and, even set more goals as well too. Now I know one of your goals is eventually to win all the titles. I got a feeling Ty Awesome is going to be in for a fight too. Rob, are you refereeing that match? No? Yes?
No, they're going in West Virginia. I haven't been to. Were you going WDA?
Yeah, WDWA.
Oh, okay.
WDWA. Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
You probably know. So Rob got beat up by Ty Awesome the other day. Well, many moons ago. So
he always beats me up. Anytime you see him beating somebody up on TV, it's me. I've been security. He came to the Workhorse Training Center one time, beat me up. Oh my Lord, yeah. Just.
They like to take advantage of Rob in the ring.
Yeah, it would have been. You know what I mean? I'm in there. I'm not even a wrestler. I'm a ref. I'm ring announcer. I work camera.
It would have been interesting to see. It would have been interesting to see if Rob would have caught it down the middle, or if he would have pulled a 1990s Nick Patrick where his back goes out on the second count and he can't go any further. It would have been interesting. But yeah, I know that your goal is to win all the titles and whatnot. But in terms of like tag teams now, who would you say you'd want to go after some tag team championships with?
That's an easy question. Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim is my guy. We train together, we work together. I mean, it's we've tagged before. We were in a Fight Club in Cheverly, Maryland. We tagged together and instant chemistry. It's easy for us. It comes natural. We think the same way in wrestling. We have the same mindset, and we come from the same school, Workhorse. We're both Mark Harrow guys. So our mindset, our style, our philosophy, it's synced up. And if I was going to go on a tag run with anybody, it had to be Tiny Tim.
Awesome, that's cool. Yeah, I could definitely see y'all doing. As a matter of fact, I could definitely see y'all being like one of those. You, Tiny Tim, and Rob. There was another guy. I know you know this guy. Another guy that we interviewed before. I can't remember. He went over by. He had his. I think he had his birthday the other day, or he had the WrestleMania watch party the other day, and you went over there.
Oh, Cousin Wyatt.
Cousin Wyatt. I could definitely see the three of y'all actually doing some kind of like cool stable representing Virginia, and just
team up recently at a 4-on-4 match. It was me, Tiny Tim, Cousin Wyatt, and Mark Jr. Dangerfield. We tagged up in a 4-on-4 against the Tar Dynasty. So we trained with, Cousin Wyatt's a Workhorse too. He trains with us, so yeah, you can throw him right in that mix too.
Man, I gotta start watching some more 1CW, man, because y'all doing a lot of great things down there, and
the TV show now on Delmarva. I know you're in New York, but
no. Here's the thing about me. I always tell people there is no excuse for you not to watch, wrestling in other parts of the country. I mean, when I was stationed in Japan, with the Navy, I was watching the WCWC, which is in Oregon, the West Coast Wrestling Connection. I was watching Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is in Kentucky, and I was watching several other promotions, all over the country. You had Championship Wrestling from Arizona and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which is on the West Coast. I was watching Reality Wrestling, which is our other co-host Kathy's one of her favorite promotions down in Texas. So I always tell people if I could do that, and I'm all the way in Japan, There should be no reason why you're in, the United States of America, and you can't go on YouTube, go on Fight TV, go on IWTV, and check out what's going on in other areas of the country. There's no excuse, So yeah, I'll definitely make sure I check out that TV show, real soon. So my last question, and I know Rob is itching to ask you some questions as well too, so whenever you're working out, getting ready to, face your opponent, what are some songs that Trucker Josh likes to listen to get him into that zone?
Trucker Josh loves country music. So Eric Church, anything by Eric Church. It probably really doesn't matter what it is. Darius Rucker, anything by Darius Rucker. I'll listen to that. Mississippi Queen is a really good one. Me and the Workhorses have come out to that song sometimes, so I love Mississippi Queen. Sweet Home Alabama. I like country music. I'm a trucker. It's cliche, but that gets me in the mood. That gets me ready to go out there and be a rough, tough, blue collar, redneck, roughneck wrestler.
Yeah, I don't really listen to country too much, but there's some people that I listen to, like Rascal Flatts, What Hurts the Most, and God Bless the Broken Road. That's one those are two songs that I like, and I've heard a couple of others too. Like Florida Georgia Line. There's one called Holy. That's another song that I actually like, and How We Roll. I think they sang How We Roll as well too, but that's another song yeah, but that's another song that I actually enjoy as well. Sounds like I'll definitely have to check out some Eric Church. I've heard of him, but I've never really listened to any of his music. But I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, Eric Church, that's my go-to on the show day. I got a match. Eric Church, that's my go-to.
Awesome. I'll definitely any songs you recommend?
Talladega.
Okay.
Springsteen. Brown Here Buzz. There's a lot, but Talladega is probably the best one.
Awesome. I'll definitely have to check that out. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions for you. Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, Josh, man? How's everything going today?
What's up, Rob? I drove the truck today. That's what I do.
I know, man. Yeah, any long hauls, man. I'm glad you made it back in time, man. Come for the show, man.
Yeah, always got to be back on time. I got West Virginia and WDWA on Saturday, and then 1CW Milford on Sunday. So definitely got to be around for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. You gotta be around for that. And if you ever want to check out 1CW, like Remy was saying, you can just definitely, even if you aren't in the area, you can download the app, DSN's, Delmarva Sports Network app, or you can even go to delmarvasportsnetwork.com and go back and watch the shows, the episodes. It comes on 10 a.m. every Saturday. So yeah, definitely check it out. And you can see our guest right now, Trucker Josh out there kicking butt, taking names. You know what I mean? So
that's what I do.
That's what you do. That's what we do. That's what we do. So you were saying earlier, like you wanted to, go out, Brian Morris and stuff, man. I was like, yes, I agree with that. I actually think, man, a workhorse should be a workhorse champion. You know what I mean? Like, don't you agree? You know what I mean? You come from the workhorse, man. Man, that I know from experience. You know what I mean? Like, they train right there and they do the thing. You know what I mean? You can't outwork a workhorse. You know what I mean? So don't you agree that workhorse should be the workhorse champion? Yeah,
that belt means a lot to the school and everybody, that trains at Workhorse Wrestling. We thought we had it when Carlson won the belt in Harrington. We thought, okay, finally, we got a real workhorse representing the workhorse champion. And then, they had to get Craig involved and whatnot and overrule it on a technicality and get him his belt back because, everybody knows Brian Morris can't beat Sean Carlson one-on-one. Yeah. So they had to get a technicality to get his belt back. But, yeah, that's someone definitely got my eye on. I definitely want to get a championship in 1CW. That's like a goal I have right now. And I mean, who else than to beat Wonder Boy Brian Morris? That would be great.
Oh yeah, that's definitely awesome, man. So, speaking of workhorses and stuff, I got to ask, learning at the, at the Workhorse Training Center, what I mean, learning under guys like, Mark Harrow, Carlson, even all Ty Awesome trained there, Hobo, all those guys, what I mean, what's it like, learning under those guys, what I mean, because a lot of wrestling schools, you hear that, you graduate, what I mean, but, Workhorse, you don't really do that. You get a band, you keep moving.
Yeah, but speaking on the bands,
Yeah,
what I was
the
mentioning,
Ice Cube hit again.
that's fine. You
Screws
you were
me up.
making a great point about the bands. I got my band on. I wear it everywhere I go. My teal band. It's just like karate or jiu-jitsu. They have belts. You get a band when you level up and you're on the next level. So you're trying to work your way to that black belt of wrestling in a way.
Yeah.
But like you said about training at Workhorse, I'm glad that it's where I went to get into the sport of wrestling. I would not have wanted to train under anybody but Mark Harrow. And I'm not just saying that to boost the guy and boost the place that I train at, but when I first got into wrestling and I was going to training and learning how to do the moves and everything, I was looking for the trainers to fake it till you make it. Like they were faking things. They were just saying stuff. Never had that. Anytime I ever had a question about wrestling, Mark Harrow has a legit answer. I've never had it where I felt like he was, trying to pull one over and act like he knew what he was talking about. He really knows wrestling and understands wrestling. And the more that I'm around, the trainers at Workhorse, the more I can see that these guys really do know wrestling and they love wrestling. And I'm glad that Workhorse is where I went to, to become a professional wrestler, because I feel like I have just such a wealth of knowledge that, I can pick these guys' brains, Carlson, Harrow, Ty Awesome, Hobo Harry, I can pick their brains because they just know so much and they care so much and they love wrestling so much and they want to see you succeed. So it's really the Workhorse training is the perfect place to go to become a pro wrestler, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Mark has said stuff and explained the stuff to me. I've been at a show or somewhere, just chatting with him or even standing in line. I wanted to be like, holy shit, like that. Oh, that makes so much sense now. Like I never thought of it that way. Yes, yes.
I'll put it this way: if wrestling was a science, Mark Harrow would be Bill Nye. Like he
pretty much.
He understands it.
And, that's a perfect analogy right there. Yes. Yes.
And it's crazy because guys that trained with Mark 20 some years ago or whatever, they'll still come up to him and be like, "Man, what do you think about doing this move or doing that?" They haven't trained with him. It's been over a decade since they've trained with him, but they still ask him because they just they got that respect for him. They know that he knows what he's talking about when it comes to wrestling. He's the encyclopedia, walking encyclopedia of wrestling.
Yep. And he'll never put anybody in any position, that will hurt themselves or, do something dumb or anything, man. He's always looking out for the best in everybody, what I mean? So, yeah, kudos to that. Some people wouldn't even care. Be like, oh, well, he ain't going to do that. He'll make you look good, all that good stuff. And he's the man, you can't thank Mark Harrow enough, man. You can't. Yeah, he's the man. Yeah, I can sit there and listen and be like, why do you order, this, that, and the other at, Taco Bell? Well, I get this, like, okay, I see why. Dang, man, that makes so much sense. I mean, he's like that. It's like, just wow, that's awesome. So now you were talking about earlier your man. You came up a little short, last Saturday, but this Sunday, you got another hard hitting match and stuff, man. And I'm glad you came out and you stuck up for Delaware, man, because he was really trashing us, man, out there, But I kind of wish you would have called him Ice Cube, because isn't Ice Cube's real name O'Shea Jackson? You know what I mean? O'Shea Edwards, a little play on that. We're like, called him Ice Cube or something. But I appreciate you going out there doing that, man. So hopefully this Sunday in Milford at the VFW, man, we get to do the thing, man.
Yeah, he's probably gonna come out, talk more bad about state of Delaware because that's what people like to do. But I'm not worried about any of the mind games or anything. I'll put it this way. I'm greedy for respect, and I'm going to earn it from O'Shea Edwards. When I came out, I'm sure he was probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? Who is this, guy I've never heard of, never wrestled. He's not, on his level or whatever. But I think I might have earned a little bit of respect from him this past Saturday in Shelbyville. But Sunday, I'm definitely going to. He's not going to leave Milford and forget who the Brother Trucker is. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah, he definitely isn't because a lot of people don't know, man. You got a loud fan base over there, and you have a nice little cheering section over there. You know what I mean? Yours is second only to Wyatt's cheering section. You know what I mean? Like you go out with different man. Wyatt has like a whole like a half a building or whatever.
Wyatt's got an army. He's got a fleet.
Yes, he does.
Of the horse people. They take care of the horses over there at the Beaver Ranch. They go crazy for Cousin Wyatt. You don't mess with Cousin Wyatt at 1CW.
Oh no, you don't, man. They got the family, the extended family, the extended family. Like it goes down. It goes deep. It goes deep. Yeah, you definitely you can't mess with Cousin Wyatt, man. Plus, the Cousin Wyatt, man, he's one of my dad's favorites, man. Because my dad would come to the show and be like, "Yo, I like the Chicken Man." You know what I mean? Like I remember I would be sitting in the back. Yeah, I would be sitting in the back, and he would sit there and text me, and be like, "Yo, the Chicken Man is out." He'd be like, "Oh man, Chicken Man got beat up or whatever." Like, "Oh no, Chicken Man kicking butt down there." I'm like, "All right, that's right, Pop."
That's
great.
Man.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awesome. So I do got to ask, do you have it, traveling around, you got to travel a little bit and stuff, man. Like you say, you're traveling, to West Virginia, man. Do you have any funny travel stories that have happened to you so far? Like, you're going to West Virginia, man. Is there Sasquatch over there you got to watch out for or something, man? Going in the mountains. Sometimes you got to watch out, man.
It's funny, when you travel with guys like Sean and Mark and Hobo Harry, we're walking characters, like we're crazy people walking around as a group. And you walk into, I don't know, let's say you walk into a gas station and Mark Harrow walks in with you, and he's got that crazy missing link haircut, and he's like a little kid walking around playing with stuff. We always have a great time on road trips. We always have a great time. But this Saturday, is probably the first time that I'm not riding up with, my trainers. I'm going by myself to go wrestle against Ty Awesome in West Virginia. So. Excited for it, but I do love traveling with the guys. There's just something about it that's fun. We probably have some funny stories, but maybe not share all of them. But we always have a great time when we travel together for wrestling.
Yeah. That's I agree with that, man. Yeah. Just walking characters, especially Mark. Yeah, he just walk in there and stuff, man. Yeah, that's comedic gold right there. And then don't get him started on some yo mama jokes and stuff, man. Oh man, you can go on all day.
You go all day. Dad jokes.
Yeah, you can go all day. Oh man, yeah, man. He's great, man. He's the greatest. So not a lot of people know this though, but right before you became a wrestler, man, you did a little stint as a referee, man. So what was that like, man? That your little referee stint, man. I mean, how was that experience like?
So even Jake the Snake Roberts said, if you want to be a wrestler, you should start by being a referee. So that's what you did. I came in. I think I refereed 2 or 3 matches before I was, starting to be a wrestler. It's a good way to get in the ring and see what wrestling is like firsthand, as close as you could possibly be, is being right there in the ring as the referee, and just get in front of a crowd. And not, losing yourself and getting completely nervous. But yeah, I refereed a couple of matches at 1CW when I first got into it. Being a referee made me want to be a wrestler 10 times more because I was seeing the action right in front of me, and I was like, man, I want to do that so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, referee was a great thing, I think, for me to do to get it into wrestling and to get in a ring and be in front of a bunch of people for the first time. It was probably easier doing it as a referee than as a wrestler.
So how was it getting in front of that 1CW crowd, especially if they're going hot and stuff? You know what I mean? You know, because they love to mess with some of the referees, man. Because I don't know if you've been out there when I've had 300 people, plus people be like, this ref's blind, this ref sucks. You know what I mean? Yeah, how is it, man? I love it.
They did. So when I went out as a referee, I wore my glasses out. I don't wear my glasses to wrestle, but I wore my glasses out as a referee. Everybody's out there calling me Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh no!
It was my first experience to it, and I was like, man, these people are crazy.
Oh man.
So, but luckily when I came, when I started wrestling, I quickly won some people over, and I don't wear the glasses out, so nobody called me Dahmer.
Oh man, yeah, that's great. I didn't hear that. That's pretty funny, man. That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
I remember one time I'm out there, I was reffing, and I can't remember what I was doing. I think I'm yelling at a manager to get down off the ropes, or somebody. I'm yelling at somebody. It's a tag team match. I'm yelling, get back in your door, whatever. I can't remember what it was. It was something like that. But when I was doing that, I made eye contact with this fan, right? And I guess behind me there's some chicanery going on or whatever, some shenanigans going on behind me or whatever. I can't see behind my back. And this guy, man, he just looked. Veins popping out of his neck, and his face is red. Like, turn around. Look behind you. What are you doing? No, I'm just like, oh man, yeah, this is great.
Pro wrestling fans are the craziest fans in all sports. Like, they just you got to be a little crazy to be into pro wrestling to begin with, I think. So,
yeah, that 1CW crowd, man. Yeah, you definitely gotta love them, man. Oh man. So I do gotta ask, like when you're home, you're not out on the long road, man. You're not training or whatever, man. Are there any new movies and TV shows you're into, man? Because I'm always trying to find something new to watch. I always get caught watching.
If you want something to watch, I've got something that will keep you occupied for probably 2 years. One Piece. It's got like 1,000 episodes. Go watch.
Oh, okay.
It's the greatest fictional story ever told. That's all I can tell people.
Okay.
And they got a live action coming out this August 31st. Live action One Piece only on Netflix.
Okay, they got the live action version coming out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But if you really want something, like, it will keep you occupied for probably 2 years. If that's if you watch it often. It's got over 1,000 episodes still going. Great story. So
can you imagine that? Like, just having 1,000 ideas and stuff. Like, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
it's been running since 97. I think they started writing it.
Yeah. Oh man. You know what I mean? Like, Eric and I did a promo for a show, and it's like, yeah, we got an idea. It's like, get an idea for another one. I was like, another idea? Like, really? Oh man, we got to do this again. Oh man, this is hard. Oh man. So I do want to say, before I, pass it back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on, chatting with us, man. Man, I had a blast, chatting with you, man. It's always good to chat with you, man. See you at the shows. I wish nothing but the positive things that happen to you, your career. I hope you get to travel all around the world, win championships everywhere you go. You know what I mean? Just dominate and, just be on TV. But I actually trained with that dude one time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that guy. So yeah, I wish you nothing but the best and all the success, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it so much. This was a blast being on here. I had a great time.
Josh, thank you very much for being a guest on our show and shooting the breeze about pro wrestling and whatnot. Really and truly do appreciate it, and we wish you all the best as well. Before we actually shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find your next appearances, purchase, Trucker Josh merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Facebook is the best way to get me. Josh Windsor on Facebook. That's where a lot of my wrestling content is. And, Rob's got the shirt on right now that I'm selling right now, the Brother Trucker shirt. Yeah, so if you have, any bookings or buying merchandise or, want to find out how to get tickets to a show I'm going to or whatever, Josh Windsor on Facebook. Best way to get a hold of me, contact me for any of that.
Awesome. So y'all heard he's, the best way to contact him is on Facebook. And also he has merch available. So if you can't make the shows he's at, he has the merchandise available. That's another way you can actually show your support is by purchasing the merchandise as well. And with that being said, and I always say, support indie wrestling. That's one way you can support them because I normally I think 90% of your WWE superstars, but since WWE's apparently now doing the whole NIL thing and having athletes and now you got Logan Paul in the ladder match, which and I'm not even upset about that. I'm actually more excited to see it. But still, 90% of your AEW, Impact Wrestling, and New Japan, superstars, because there are other promotions that are doing it big, they come from the indies. So why not actually support them while at the beginning of their journey? And that way, when you see them make it, you can be like, yeah, I have the first Trucker Josh t-shirt. You can't find it anymore. You can't find it on Shop AEW or Shop Impact or New Japan Global. I think that's the name of their merch store. We can only find, but I have the first ever shirt. So definitely go out there, hit them up for that merch. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and maybe a nap. Maybe not that order, but before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Sean Spencer to my Burton Guster, and the Devon to my Bubba Ray. Where can fans find out on social media when they want to talk wrestling, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and also where can Bookers of Motors find you when they want to book you for their shows?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob_Bass82, Facebook Rob Bass. And this Sunday you can catch me, you can catch our guest Trucker Josh. We'll be at Milford at the VFW. It's show starts 2 p.m. It'll be an outside show. You can catch us every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Delmarva Sports Network. You can go to delmarvasportsnetwork.com and watch us. You can download the app and watch us on there. Or if you got Comcast or Fios, you can find the channels and watch us on there. And then the next week or 2 weeks after that, we will be back in Houston for our hometown. And then the week after that, we're going back to Selbyville, and we're having the DSN Championship, on the line over there. So, yeah, we're definitely busy, this summer, So
that's a nice
looking
title, too.
Oh, yeah, that thing was nice, too. Yeah, so, definitely going out there.
I might be interested in that one, too.
Oh, man, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. Yeah, definitely bring it on, man. So, yeah, we're definitely doing the thing this summer.
So those of y'all in Delaware, make sure you check out those shows, especially the one at 2 p.m. It's not too late. It's actually early, so you can definitely hit up the bars afterwards, hit up the clubs afterwards, but at 2 p.m. right after lunch, or heck, you could probably get some lunch and go check out the show, but definitely check it out. The men and women of 1CW, they're doing great things, and trust me, you don't want to miss that. But with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool stuff, but I do go to a couple cool places every now and then. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. And our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify, and we're also on Teespring for now. Where we actually sell official Ringside Society merch. We have T-shirts, tank tops. It's summertime, so those will definitely come in handy. We have hoodies, we have long sleeve shirts, we even have pillows and coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage as well. So definitely check us out. Make sure you purchase some merch. All proceeds from those sales go back into keeping our show afloat. They do not go back into our pockets. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we had with Sean Carlson, Ty Awesome, and many other great men and women from 1CW. Many other great men and women in the pro wrestling industry all over the world. You can find them on our YouTube channel. All you got to do is go to YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really pretty dark blue and light blue yin-yang sound, the blue flames around it, that's where you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling happy right now. Very happy, energetic. Hey, yo, Rob, should I hit him with it?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
All right. With that being said, next Monday, we will be having special guest Zach Peterson on our show. You don't know who that is? Well, guess what? He's the guy that actually acted as Chris Candido in the Dark Side of the Ring premiere. You saw we had Miss Lulu a couple weeks back. She acted as Tammy, but now we have the guy that acted as Chris Candido on our show next Monday. So make sure you actually check us out for that one, because it's going to be another impressive episode as well. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could and should listen to, and we're going to keep on doing that. To those of y'all that are listening later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well with everybody and their grandparents and their parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Workhorse Training Center, and one time for Workhorse Training Center graduate and Balls Mahoney Battle Royal winner, the Brother Trucker Josh. What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
We'll try with the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I will be back next week or later on this week with another impressive episode. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.